I'm Van.
I'm sorry.
And I'm in a bad, freaking horrible mood, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been in this horrible of a mood in quite some time, so that's probably going to affect my
Your review.
My review, but I don't care.
There's been a lot of things.
For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit me up at Middle America with Vin and Sorry. That's up. If you're an easily offended person,
don't go over there.
you probably shouldn't go over there. Probably shouldn't go over there.
But if you like honest conversation and people being able to speak their minds, then that's a spot for you.
Yeah. This is Black Sabbath. Lonely is the word. I think, according to somebody, that Dio is singing in this, so that's going to be fun because I love it when Dio is on Vokes. I was going to say, so I've been listening to a lot of Chevelle lately, man.
Yeah, you have.
It's because of De Herrera, because I'm preparing, because we're going to do a entire week dedicated to De Herrera, or, well, not to him, or are they all Chevelle songs, those songs that he's got?
I didn't actually look down at the list. I copied the list, but I didn't.
I feel like Chevelle is...
I don't think so. I think it's a bunch of different...
I feel like Chevelle is one of the most underrated bands we've got so far. So, that's coming down the pike. We also have... yeah, I'm not going to mention that. Let's just get into it. This is Black Sabbath. Lonely is the word. Let's go. Whoa. Big guitar sound right out the gate.
It's a long way to nowhere, and I'm leaving very soon. On the way, we pass so close to the backside of the moon. Hey Joe,
That guitar work was extremely satisfying.
Yes, and that synth at the end was brilliant. Hopefully somebody will tell me, but I hope they use that synth like throughout the record. Like these old school, like one of the most annoying habits that these old school guys have is they'll have like a great section. This happens with Dave all the time with Megadeth. He'll have some ridiculously amazing riff at the end, and he just does like 15 seconds of it because he's so talented. He makes all these other riffs, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this one's it." And to me, I'm like, that riff should dominate an entire song. So like that synth at the end, I'm like, that better not have been like a 15-second throw-in at the end.
Yeah, very, very, very satisfying.
Tony Iommi, man, I was fully prepared to give a, because I'm so pissed off right now that I honestly don't care about
I'm
anybody.
Give it a 0, just to piss everybody off.
Yeah, I'd give it a 0 if I felt like it was a 0. I was fully ready to like.
Yeah.
I was kind of almost like hoping, like, I hope it's not. I hope Iommi has like a cough or something, or maybe he has a flu or something, and he
He's
just
a little off.
Mailed it in, but well, like the other thing about Iommi is that he is so versatile. Like no disrespect to Kirk Hammett at all. I love Kirk Hammett deeply as far as an artist and as far as like what he's brought to the game, but solo wise, Kirk is kind of stays in one area for like decades. And he can destroy me on guitar, so I'm not like, the guy's a legend, forget it. But Iommi just feels like you said something about Jordan when you were like, it's like everybody else is playing the game and he's like, what did you say?
I just felt like he was just like everybody else is like, okay, this is what I need to do so I can make that play, but I feel like he decides what play he's going to do regardless of what the game is doing.
Win the game, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to do that one next.
Yeah,
and everything can be stacked against him. Like, everybody else, I think, is trying to be strategic with, okay, this is the only play that I can do, but I feel like he decides what way he's going to shoot that ball before he even gets to the other side of the court to see where everybody else is.
Yeah.
He sets those goals for himself. Like, everybody's playing and he's toying.
Iommi is just like, what's the net? Okay, I'll say it like this. Like when video games first came out, it was basically linear. It was like A to Z, and then the screen would just move and send you like to the point where they wanted to send you.
Yeah.
But now you play Fortnite, like you can explore. There's another game that really came out like that was really big on the exploration factor of the game. It wasn't even about Skyrim. It was just like you're just going around and you can just do whatever you want. Just explore. And like I feel like that's Iommi and pretty much 99% of other metal guitarists. Like other metal guitarists are like in Super Mario World, like the original one from Nintendo, like just A to B. And he's like, what's over here? What's over here?
Straight across the screen.
And all of it sounds good. Like it just seems to me he doesn't have any barriers like when he's playing. Like the last song we listened to was like a metal song and it was crazy and I was like, oh my god, it's 1971 or something like that. This one, it felt like the song could have been in a bar. Like I was in a blues bar, it got some nice blues scales, and then of course Dio came in there and killed it. And I usually don't talk about musicianship that much, but I'm just blown away by this guy, because if you've ever had a guitar and you've ever like been inspired to play, like especially if you play like a certain type of style, like how hard it is to come up with something that's different without it being,
I'm not talented that way at all.
Without it
For
being
me,
silly.
it was a person sitting in a room with the moonlight coming in that was like a bluish hue, and they were lonely.
Definitely felt the blue angle in that as well, and hence blues. You know what I mean?
And look, these angels that are smoking.
Is that what I mean?
Yeah, they too are wearing blue.
And that was the last song on the record. So, what a way to close out the record. Good lord. Okay, so having said that, let's go to what we are known for, which is a lyrical
breakdown.
The lyrical miracle. It's okay. So the song. Here's the other thing that struck me about this song is that it didn't seem like a 1980s song. Like we listened to, I think it was Def Leppard, or something. It was some band. It was Def Leppard or Twisted.
Took me in.
It was Def Leppard, and I was like, okay, this is definitely an 80s song. Like, definitely an 80s song. This did not sound like an 80s song. Like, it sounds like a song that could have came out today. And the reason I'm saying that is because lyrically, because of this whole COVID situation, you do have a lot of lonely people. You know, like that's one of the, you know, I've been saying this over and over again, you know, we've seen an increase in suicides and things of that nature. You've got a lot of lonely people. And so, you know, the whole discussion as to whether or not to open and things like that is not as simple as if we open, people will die, because people are dying because we're closed. So, and loneliness is one of them, and it cannot be overstated how powerfully difficult it is to overcome a feeling of loneliness, especially if you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. You know, which I definitely think the internet has been able to provide
some connection between people.
That you couldn't even have conceived of in the 80s.
Yes, I agree with that. I think though that sometimes internet can make you feel more lonely, but I guess if you only have, you know, you only have that, and it's like, it's better now than it was back then where you could have only called someone on the phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, it was funny, I was talking to, I forgot one of the kids I was taking from one of my drives, you know, the one-on-one time. I'm pretty sure it was Zoe. I was talking about my best friend when I was a little kid, Tyler Aldridge. You know, it was like it was the first time that I had made a best friend, and then we moved. And when we moved, there was no warning. There was no, most of the time, there was no warning. There was no build-up. It was just, and so my mom was like, well, Vincent, this is going to be your last, you know, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's gonna be your last year, like. So anyway, and she was like, "Well, did you pen pal?" And I was like, "Oh, pen pals. You remember pen pals? Don't you remember pen pals?"
Oh, I do. I'm surprised she knew what a pen pal was.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know where she got that from, but
sometimes in our shows they have old-fashioned things.
And it reminded me, I did write him. I wrote him one letter.
You did?
Yeah. I wrote him one letter. My brother made fun of me for it. I said, I love you, Tyler, and I drew some hearts or whatever. And my brother was like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah.
Really? Junior?
Oh, yeah. He took it, showed his friends.
Oh, no.
I didn't care. I mean.
Oh, you didn't care?
Not even. He was my best. I loved him. He's my best friend. I used to hold hands and shit. Like,
really?
Yeah, I didn't care about any of that.
Aww.
So it just reminded me, but we moved so much that even if he wrote me back, by the time the letter got to him and whatever, we were gone again.
Oh gosh.
Because when we moved to Florida, then we were staying at my mom's friend's place, and then we stayed with her for like 2 or 3 months. Jamie destroyed some of her whatever, and that was the end of it.
Did you do it on purpose?
He got into it. Yeah, no, it was like a Johan type thing, you know. And my mom was always like, when it was just us, she yelled at us and da-da-da-da-da, and then when the lady was coming after us, she was like, oh, shut up, it's not that big of a deal, you know. we were out of there. So even if he wrote me back, you know, I'm not mad at you if you didn't write me back, but I'm just gonna pretend that you wrote me back, and then, you know, it got intercepted at the other place, and yeah. But loneliness is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think to myself, like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's actually better that I didn't have the internet to connect with Tyler, because we had met each other in the physical world, and like, for it to transition to the digital world, it would just be like holding on to something that really, I have a very hard time with like carrying around dead things. Like, I have a really hard problem with that. So to me, I would much rather like it's like Jordan coming back from retirement again to play for the Wizards. It's like, it's over. Mm-hmm. Like, let it be. Like, people have a hard time with letting things be over. Mm-hmm. So I think it would actually have been better for me if I didn't have that kind of internet type of, you know, relationship with him, you know, like. So I really don't know. I don't know. 'Cause I honestly believe that like having an internet relationship with Tyler would have made me actually more depressed, because then I'd have been in this strange like
Half connected.
purgatorial
Yeah.
kind of, and then it's like the urgency to make new friends and things like that would have been a little bit
Yeah.
stymied, and I'd have been, whereas like that's gone, so you're either gonna have friends or you're gonna be by yourself. What are you gonna do, Ben? And so then I began to learn how to make friends and
Yeah.
and also be ready to lose them at any moment and make new friends, so which now I'm being told is horrible and makes me a terrible person and da da da.
Do people say that in the comment section?
Well, no, not in the comment. In my life, like
Oh, yeah.
when the relationship with certain people is
Yeah,
over,
yeah.
Somebody's like, I hate how easy it is for you to blah blah blah. It's like, it's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God Almighty, make new friends.
But it's you.
I'm not doing this again. All right, so the loneliness aspect of it is definitely.
If we didn't get married and you
massive
cut
issue.
off our friendship, I would have been.
See,
I wouldn't have told you how hurt I was.
I don't like that framing. I cut off. It's not that I cut off the relationship. It's just circumstances happened to where the relationship was never going to be the same
Honey,
again.
circumstances changed before you moved halfway across the country.
Yeah, but that's not the same. Well, yeah, and we didn't talk.
We didn't talk, but it wasn't like
I was out.
this relationship is over.
Well, you know me, I never make those pronouncements. I don't say the relationship is over. I never do
but that's
that.
because the person pushed you to it?
No, I never even said that to the person. They just knew
Oh.
that,
Oh.
like,
Okay.
but when have you ever seen me say, this is over? I don't do that.
No, that's true.
But they were able to, I think they got the hint when, they were like, hey kid, I come over, I want to hear your story. And I was like, I have no interest in telling you my story. Like, what are you talking about? And then all the drama, but it's a long way to nowhere. I'm leaving very soon on the way we pass so close to the backside of the moon, which is interesting because, dark side of the moon, I don't know if that was like a little bit of Joy in the Traveler, if you got nowhere to go. See, to me, this looks like he's a rock star. He's traveling. It's that rock star lifestyle, but he's very, very lonely. And I would think that, and the other thing is maybe, like he didn't start Black Sabbath, he came in after. So like he didn't have, even though I'm assuming what I got from most Black Sabbath fans is that they booted Ozzy out because of drugs or alcohol or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
And then, so maybe there was that, like, you're in, but you're not really in, you know what I mean? Whenever somebody new comes, like, we were in a situation like that. One of our teammates, very well-loved guy, he went down or whatever, and you got to replace him, and then the new guy was there. He was great. He was an unbelievably great guy, but, he wasn't that guy, so everybody was kind of like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
So, but in that situation, like, the person was taken from us, we didn't, kick him out. So, so I just think that, like, I remember the first time, like, when I really got into metal and I went to a rock show and I was like, the first rock show I went to, Korn Sick and Twisted tour in April 8th, 2000. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's April 8th, 2000. Pepsi Arena. I remember everything. And I remember, like, being at the show and being like, oh my God, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I have to be in a band and I want to tour and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but, it's like, you don't really understand. These guys are on a bus or whatever for X amount of time. They're in a different city for X amount of time. They don't have any, I mean, we've seen it with, like, it's like bands, like, being backstage and things like that. And, like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, it's a cool thing. But on the other hand, it's like, they just want people to talk to. Like, they're people themselves. And it was obvious that a couple of them, like...
Yeah, people as in people, not fans.
Correct. Correct. That type of relationship, right? So by being able to have a couple of those relationships behind the scenes that we don't talk about a lot, it's the personal sort of, you know, that they're missing, and then being alone in a crowd because you're surrounded by people. Oh, you're so awesome, and then it's great, you know. But it's kind of like when they're doing the rock star thing, then that's fine. But like when they're you know,
they just want
they're
to
trying
be
to make
regular
they're trying to make some sort of
Yeah.
connection. It's kind of hard for them, you know.
Yeah.
So, part of me is like, okay, is this his experience being in the band? I don't know how long he's been in the band by this time, 1980. I'm not sure. But he's talking about Join the Traveler, and I'm assuming it's kind of autobiographical in saying, hey, you know, it's not all it's made up to be. And I've been higher than stardust. I've been seen upon the sun. I used to count millions then, but now I only count one.
What do you got, man? I
Well,
felt like it was like I'm not going. He's not. You know, if you're counting in millions, it's like, you know, there's so many dreams, there's so many this or that, but everything's kind of like.
Yeah, then I was like, wow, you know, maybe he's talking about money. You know, like you count your money in millions, now you only count one. It's kind of one of those like fall from grace type of stories. And then I try to like side Google if he ever went broke.
Oh yeah.
But he never did. So, and he's kind of one of these writers where like it might seem, you know, like obvious what he's talking about, but there's like 18 layers under it, which is my favorite type of writing. So yeah, I really like this song. I usually, anytime I hear a Sabbath song with Dio, it's kind of always focused on him and what he did vocally. But I think this time I gotta give it to Tony Iommi, man, because he sonically, what he did with his instrument, man, just kind of set the tone, and it's very, very difficult to not notice that. To where even a channel that is mostly
totally agree.
lyrically focused, it starts and ends with what Iommi did on this track. He kind of just completely owned this track, and it's the last track on the record, man. And it's one of those like masterpieces.
I know. Usually I'll like kind of hear like even the vocal style. I didn't even hear really the vocal style much because the guitar is just kind of, or I don't know. Was there more than one? It felt like there was more than one guitar.
Well, yeah, there's usually lead and rhythm guitar, but like it's obviously Iommi is
just the way that they put it together. I don't know. It just took me places, and so I just was. It's funny because sometimes music will take you to a certain era,
right?
But then there's some music that kind of just takes you into itself, and this one took me into itself. Obviously, that's the best type of music, in my opinion, unless you're looking for a certain feel. But if you're not looking for a certain era, then I think that music that encapsulates you and draws you into itself.
Although I can imagine a Sabbath fan where this would draw you to some time in your life or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think it does both, right? Like, it draws you into it.
I'm just saying, someone who's never heard it before.
Correct. That doesn't have any like connections to it. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And you know, it's weird. Like people say, "Oh, I'm kind of jealous of you guys because you guys get to experience the song for the first time." And I definitely see the advantage in that. But there's also something pretty cool about
having
being able to right. Because I've got a history with Got the Life. Like I've heard that song probably 15,000 times in my life, almost literally. Because you know how I am with songs. Like I just play them over and over and over.
Oh. You know what's interesting? Okay, sorry, finish what you're...
No, go ahead. Go.
So, you know how usually I don't have, like, music that I related to or that kind of stuck with me, but I was in the car and the girls were, I don't know, talking about something, and so I was like, what is the greatest cause of atheism in the world today? It's Christians who deny God with their, who profess God with their mouths, but deny Him with their lifestyles. This is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. What people do? It was a Jesus Freak song, and I just started doing that while I was driving, and the girls were like, "What are you doing, Mom?" And then I was like, it was just like I just like went back to when I
because I was like, where did that monologue come from? Because I wasn't raised on.
Yeah. So I remember thinking,
it's just too much cheese.
It's true. That's why there's atheism. It's because of Christians.
Too much cheese.
And it was like the first time that anyone had ever
confronted.
Like kind of pointed inward at our issues as Christians.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I really, really like that. So I put the song on for them. Sayla said it was the stupidest song she ever heard. She didn't like it at all. Zoe really actually said she liked it. She liked the feel of it, and she said she liked the words, and especially when I was telling her what the words were. She was like, it reminds me of Johann, which I thought was really cute. So I'm gonna have to show Johann it at some point. But anyway, when I was showing it to her, like obviously my mind went back to the first time I heard the song and the times that we would listen to it on the bus heading to some, event with all the youth and stuff. And so there was like a nice feel to it, and being able to share it with Zoe and her liking the song too and pointing stuff out, I'm like, this is why people watch reaction channels. You want somebody to enjoy what you like. And I got enjoyment from sharing it with them, but obviously Zoe liking it was that was next level. I was like, oh, you think it's stupid? Fine. And it is very stupid, but to me it's very special.
That explains Ben Webb. I think I probably disliked one of his early bands.
Yeah, you must have.
Ben Webb needs to start a channel, man. Ben Webb is has one of the most interesting. Start a channel, Ben.
Go ahead.
He'll always send me these emails, and every time because I read everything Ben sends, top to bottom, start to finish, all the time. And every time he sends me something, I'm like, this freaking guy needs to get a channel. I would watch him before I'd watch Middle America. That's high praise.
Yes.
Because anytime I do something, whether it's musically or whatever, I always say, this is what I want to hear. I just make stuff that I want to hear. But I would definitely
join his channel. You hit the subscribe button.
Ben, hurry up, man. I'll buy you a microphone and everything. Look, man. Come on, bro.
He's good for it. He's already done it with some people.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't say that to
Why
the
not?
people. Don't say that to the people. What did you give the song?
9.9.
9.874. This was a really, really good song, and I was in a really, really bad mood, and I don't know how a song about loneliness can help me out of a bad mood, but there you go. Shout out to Dio and the magic of metal. Then out.
Sorio.
Gone.
Oh, hey, shout out to everybody who's been writing in the comment section on the Disturbed video. What was the name of that one?
Yeah. Reason to Fight was the name of the song.
The stories that people have been posting, and their sober stories, their struggle stories, it is an incredible read. Like, if you get the time, go in the comment section there. It is for real one of the best comment sections that I've seen.
Very inspiring.
It really is. It really is.
And to the big homie who made that phone.
Shout out for all that bravery.
If you made that phone call, big homie, I wanted to get in contact with you again. You got lost in the sauce in the comment section, so if you could email your boy VinAndSory@gmail.com, I'd like to check up on you, see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep me updated, and then you can check on me, buddy, because I was in a bad mood. Where were you? You're supposed to be my guy.
Yeah.
Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Gone.
It left him just with me.